group with me. It's a fabulous Friday because you are fabulous and you are alive. Hey, y'all. Like, if you are watching this right now, that means you are breathing and that you are blessed to be here for another day. So, hey, that is fabulous. Say it with me. That is fabulous that I am here and alive. All right. I am Sybil Jones, and I am the owner here at Millspouse Conversations. And I am also your host for today, bringing this fabulous Friday. And look, some of you might say, but you're talking about stroke. How fabulous can that be? It's fabulous, again, because I am still here to talk to you about it. Yes. So let's go ahead and dive in. We are going to talk about when seconds matter. Stroke awareness. Now, I'm showing you a picture of me and my husband. This was literally a couple of hours before my stroke. We're standing there smiling, posing for a photo because we were at a party to celebrate my husband. This picture here is me doing what I do best, which is mess with my husband, and I'm licking his face. Because that is what I always do with every picture, okay? When it's like, let's take a picture, I'm like, okay, let me lick you. But yeah, those two pictures were taken literally a couple of hours before my stroke happened. Now, looking at those pictures, you see no signs of stroke. And as I replay that day, April 17th, 2021, I think back and there was no reason for me to think anything was wrong that day. So I'm just going to walk you through that day so you can understand a little bit of my story. So 43-year-old female, healthy, happy, low stress, no medical concerns. Literally skipping through the sunflower fields, just enjoying life. As you can see, I had no weight concerns. I'm like a $110 on a good day, soaking wet. So there was no health concerns at all. That Saturday was a typical Saturday morning. I got up, fussed at my girls before I left to take my middle daughter to the barn because she rides horses. Sat at the barn for like 3-4 hours. Felt fine. Got home, showered. I laid down for a few minutes because we were going out to celebrate my husband for his farewell party. So we are, because it's Millspouse Conversations, we are a military family, and we were about to PCS from DC to San Diego. So his command in DC was having a going away party for him. We showed up at the party, took pictures. I was doing what I do best, which is talk. I was talking and laughing, eating. I did have a beer that evening. Actually, I only had not even a fourth of the beer, according to my husband, because at this point, things get blurry for me. Or actually, I have no regulation of what happened at this point. This is all what I have been told by my husband, by the medical team, and by the party attendees. So we're sitting there talking, and I do remember talking. My husband was sitting at a different table, and everything just kind of went black. I couldn't see anyone. I could hear voices, but they were really faint. And I recall hearing people saying my name, but my daughter has asked me, one of my daughters has asked me, what did it feel like? What did the stroke feel like? So let me back up and explain what a stroke is. A stroke is a brain attack. It is either an ischemic stroke, which is a blockage, which is what I had. There is no oxygen going to the brain. Or you can have a hemorrhage, which a blood vessel in the brain burst. But I will talk about that. I'll dig into that over on Stroke Talks, because I also own Stroke Talks, because I want to bring awareness to stroke, especially an uncommon cause of stroke, which is mine, which I'll get to that in a minute. So just bear with me. So it felt like, if you've ever watched the movie Get Out, and when the guy went to the sucking place, that's what it felt like to me. I could hear voices, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I was just stuck. And this was all within the matter of seconds, right? So at this time, my husband told me that he had looked down at the end of the table and he just saw a blank stare. He was like, I just had this blank stare. He thought I was mad at him. Again, this is all like within seconds. The gentleman next to me said he noticed my speech beginning to slur, which he then alerted my husband. My husband came up and my husband saw the full left side of my face drooped. So a lot of times when you think of stroke survivors, you notice a facial droop. I no longer have a facial droop, but my husband and the party goers have told me that I had the full face droop. They then immediately went into action, called 911, told the 911 operator that I was having a stroke, which alerted paramedics to be prepared for a stroke victim. So it is very important that if you see someone having a stroke, or even because and I'm going to try not to get emotional on this part, because there have been times I've thought they could have easily dismissed me as being drunk, speech slur, and just being different. Because the other thing that happened, I was unconscious and I face planted on the table. Again, I don't know any of this. This is what they have told me. I don't remember any of it. So they brought me to the hospital. They performed a TPA, which is the blood clot medication. It didn't work. So they then made the decision to transport me to the Trauma 1 hospital, where they performed a thrombectomy, which is where they went in and up, because my stroke was on the right side of my brain, and they went up into the brain. They said that the clot was deep in the center of the right side of my brain, and removed the clot. So let me back up. I'm a little nervous, y'all. I'm a little nervous talking about this, but let me back up and share with you a little bit of facts about stroke. And I got this from the Stroke Awareness Foundation. So there are 32,000 brain cells die in 1 second. Thank you, India. So during an ischemic stroke, 32,000 brain cells die in 1 second. That is 1.9 million brain cells in 59 seconds. Yo, that is why seconds matter. It matters. In the US, 795,000 people suffer a stroke each year. And that means that someone is having a stroke every 40 seconds. And every 4 minutes, someone dies from a stroke. And, I've known these facts since I've had a stroke, but talking about it today really puts into perspective of how fabulous I am. How fabulous I am today to be sitting here talking to you, sharing my story to bring awareness. Um, and stroke is a leading cause of long-term disability in the U.S. Um, and around 25% of people who suffer a stroke will have another stroke within 5 years. And all of those things I do think about, and I think about it often. But being the person that I am, I had to pick myself up and get my life together. I will tell you, these first 2 years have been hard. And a lot of people, who know me, or even those who don't know me, they're like, "Oh, I see you, and you're doing so great." But there is a behind the scenes of stroke. So, as a stroke warrior myself, to see me, to look at me, to talk to me, you wouldn't know that I had a stroke. But let me tell y'all something. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And it's been hard. It has been hard. One of the things for me is my left side. So my left side was affected by my stroke. I don't have complete feeling on my left side of my body. Hot, cold sensations, no. I drop things. That has improved because I now recognize when things are about to go bonkers. And I do chuckle and laugh. So as you're watching this video, I am not laughing about anyone having a stroke. I am laughing at myself because I made a decision in the hospital. So let me back up because I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm all over the place, but hey, that's okay. We're going to be fabulous and be all over the place regardless. But I was in the hospital for a week. I was in the ICU and on the stroke unit. I couldn't walk. I had to go through physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. But one thing that I recall being in the hospital, and one thing that was really hard was, I guess, when I came to, because there's just this period of time that I don't know. I don't know what was going on. But having people ask me my name, if I knew where I was, if I knew why I was there, and I didn't. I was just repeating what they had told me. And I remember my husband asking me math questions. He was just giving me math facts. And I'm like, what? Why is this man asking me math facts? And I couldn't see him. And I guess this is after they had done the surgery, which was a thrombectomy, which we'll talk about that later in more depth. But I couldn't see him. I could hear him talking to me, but I couldn't see him. And I just remember thinking, why is he asking me math problems? But anywho, in ICU, my husband wasn't there with me. When I was moved to the stroke unit, he was able to come and visit for a few hours. But it was lonely. It was extremely lonely in the hospital. I was confused. I was hurt. Because how can this young, vibrant, beautiful, fabulous woman, and when I say beautiful, I do mean the way I look. Because look, I know some of y'all gonna be like, "Oh no, she didn't." Hey, look, if you can't tell yourself that you look good, nobody else gonna tell you look good either. Yes, but I mean beautiful heart, soul. I was like, what did I do wrong? And I questioned myself over and over and over. And as I was saying earlier, my stroke wasn't due to any commonly known health risk. My stroke was due to an uncommon cause. It's a rare cause. Go figure, right? Go figure. It would be me. Rare calls. I'm a rare individual. But it's called carotid webbing, which is extra shelving in this carotid artery here. And so I now rock some pretty snazzy neck jewelry. Let me show it to you. Yes, I have it in a Ziploc bag because I carry it around with me. Yes, I do. So this is what is inside of my neck here, in that carotid artery. It keeps it flush. And I am thankful that I had a fabulous surgeon who caught this, because again, it's rare and there's still a lot of research happening right now about it, but he caught it. And I went back into the hospital a few weeks after that to have this procedure done, in which I ended up staying. I was only supposed to be in there for a day, but I ended up being there for another week because, hey, you know, Sybil can't be simple, right? Can't be simple, Sybil. My blood pressure plummeted and they could not get it stabilized. I am totally rambling, but that's okay. We're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. So while I was in the hospital, I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't get up. I couldn't feel my left side of my body. I was constantly asking to get up. I just wanted to go to the bathroom. I just wanted to be able to get up and walk to the bathroom. And they told me no, I could not. And my husband, I'm going to show you guys something. My husband, my girls sent this bear to the hospital with my husband when they moved me to the stroke unit. And this bear right here is Mr. Bear. He is 45. He's 45 years old. My granny got me this bear when I was a baby. And my grandmother had passed at 98 years old that August 2020. And I remember being in the hospital, hurt, mad. And when my husband brought me this bear, it just brightened my day. There was just like this piece of joy that came over me. And I was like, my granny is here with me. And so I remember laying there and I'm like, okay, my granny would tell me, Sybil, get up. You may not physically be able to get up right now, but you can't lay here and wallow. Get it together. And I did. And I remember sitting there thinking, and I was like, you know what? I was like, my granny was like, hey, Lord, no, she isn't done down on earth. She has a purpose down on earth. And if you bring her up here to heaven right now, she gonna talk. I just got here. I need some peace and quiet. I need some peace and quiet. Do not. And I know for some folks, you're like, why are you laughing about that? But that's how I have accepted what has happened to me. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I have a purpose here on earth that I was running from. And I'll tell you right now, I was running from the mil-spouse community. I'm a military spouse. I've been a military spouse for 20 years. And I have always participated in activities, right? But I never wanted to be in the mil-spouse community in the way that I am now with mil-spouse conversations. And I was like, you know, God had to sit me down because I was being distracted and doing 50 million other things. And I was like, no, you have a purpose and my purpose is just bringing joy to other people. If you know me, if you knew me before my stroke and you've gotten to know me over this probably past 8 months, I love to laugh. I love people. And so I'm like, I had to get my life together and get back. And then also, I was running for a bit of sharing my story about my stroke. Not because I was afraid of sharing it, but because I didn't want other people to see my pain. Again, it's easy it hasn't been easy for me to get up and just smile every day. There was a year and 2 months that I didn't want to leave my house. I was terrified to leave my house. I did not have the same confidence that I had before. When I speak, I hear a slur. I hear a bunch of jumble chatter when I talk. It doesn't sound clear. I tell people, like, when I wake up in the morning, my day starts like I'm buzzed. Yes, I know what it's like to be buzzed. I had too much to drink. That's how my day begins. And that was hard, but I have overcome that. I have come to accept that's what it is. And I've had to force myself to get dressed again. I used to love to get all dolled up. Even if I was dolled up in my sweatpants, I was still dolled up, right? There have been times I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to talk to you. I didn't want to go anywhere. But my family, my girls, my husband, my mom, my friends, they kept pushing and pulling. And I'm getting it together. Now, I am totally rogue on talking about why seconds matter. But hey, y'all, if y'all have followed me on Mamas and Coffee, y'all know I just go rogue, right? That's why I love lives. I love doing lives because, hey, let's just talk about it. But let me go back to seconds matter. So when you think about seconds matter, there is an acronym for strokes. Be fast. Oh, India. Yes. And girl, I had so much fun, India, talking to you that day. But let me tell you, it took me like 3 days to recoup. And that's the thing. That's the other thing about stroke. And this is, my experience. Before my stroke, I could go out and talk to you all day, hang out, and I was good. Now I'm like, okay, like after this live, I will need to go rest because I will be wiped out. That is not normal for me. That is now my new norm, and I've had to accept it. And it's okay. But we'll talk about that another day or over at Stroke Talks with Sybil, which you guys have to follow me over there as well. But also make sure you like and subscribe to Millspouse Conversations. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Parade Deck, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, give some thumbs up, give some hearts. Help when you engage with our videos, you help tickle that algorithm for the platforms to show it to other folks. Okay, but anywho, let me go back to knowing that 32,000 brain cells die in 1 second when someone is having an ischemic stroke. It is important for you to be fast. Okay, so let me break that acronym down. When you think of the B for stroke, it's balance. Now, people have asked me, did I recognize any of these signs for myself? No, I did not. It was literally, I'm talking, having a good time. Oh, I don't see anything. Oh, voices are faint. Oh, I woke up in the hospital. So everything in between has been shared with me. And let me say this, and the doctors did tell my husband, you know, moments later, minutes later, it could have been a completely different outcome. So it is important that if you see someone who's for that beat, their balance is off. They're talking about headaches. I had no headache, nothing. Eyes, blurry vision. For me, it was complete blindness. My husband said he noticed just a blank stare on my face. Like I was just like a blank stare. So if you see that face, a facial droop, if their face droops, that's a sign of a stroke. Arms, if you think someone is having a stroke, ask them to lift their arm. Can they move their arms? They may not be able to. If they are and there's a drift, I remember them talking to me about drifting. So being able to keep my left arm straight without it. Just speech. The S is for speech. A slurred speech. And time. Time is of the essence. Call 911. This isn't time for you to say, oh, well, no, call 911 and let the operator know that you have a stroke victim. And I don't really like to say victim because I'm like, I'm still here. I am a survivor and a warrior. Because every day is a battle, y'all. Every day is a battle. But I will dig deeper into that as well. But yeah, strokes. I never gave any thought that I would say, hi, I'm Sybil Jones. I'm a stroke warrior. That never came across my mind that I would be saying that. Again, healthy, young, vibrant, and just but I'm here. I'm talking. I'm rambling. I rambled before my stroke. But like and that's something too. I've always been a rambler, but I knew what I was saying then. Now there's like this constant haze, like this constant, it feels like this constant blanket where I'm always like, am I making sense? Am I making sense to where you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And is the conversation itself making sense? Because it doesn't seem to be for me, right? Like, I don't know, but everyone tells me that I'm making sense, and I go back and I watch my videos. I listen to my speech, and I'm like, no, okay, Sybil, you're good, you're good, you're good. Just keep trucking, just keep trucking along, and I'm here to share that, to be an inspiration, to bring a positive space that no matter how much you feel like you've been knocked down, because look, I have felt like I have been knocked down, kicked, punched, spit on, ran over, back up, ran over again. But you know what? I'm like, no, I am here. I am fabulous. And I was saying, good morning, Donnell. Um, I was, even before my stroke, my thing was always be fabulous. Hey, be fabulous. And I had to get back into my head and tell myself that I'm fabulous and that sharing my journey will help someone else feel fabulous and be back and be fabulous um, throughout their day and their life. Um, but yeah, I'm a stroke warrior. 2 years. Um, Rock some pretty snazzy neck jewelry. Um, Good days, bad days, confusing days. But I'm doing well. Um, sometimes things get a little foggy, but it's all good. But seconds matter. Just remember, be fast. Seconds matter. 32,000 brain cells die in 1 second. 1.9 million brain cells in 59 seconds. That is wild. And I saw my MRI. And when we transferred from Virginia here to San Diego and got under a new neurologist care, under a new neurologist, he told me, he's like, looking at your scans the night that you went in, he's like, it's a blessing to have you sitting here in front of me today. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. But I just want to bring Fabulous Friday every week. I'll be talking, I'll have guests on sharing their stories, and just being fabulous. Just be fabulous. That's all I ask you to do. Yes, Alana. Girl, I hope I made sense as I was rambling on. I wasn't expecting this to be as hard as it's been for me to talk about today. I have talked about my stroke before, and I've started and stopped and started and stopped. And I was like, you know what, Sybil, today, like, focus, share about the importance of seconds mattering. But I also feel that it's important to share my story along with the facts, the medical research and facts, because your story, and I have been told this many times before, and even when I was leaving the hospital, and I have talked to the surgeons in Virginia since I've been here in San Diego. They were like, share your story. And especially with it being such a rare cause, because I have been to doctors here and I'm like, yeah, carotid webbing. And they're like, carotid webbing? I'm like, yeah. So it's not something that is highly known. And like I said before, they're still doing research. So my whole purpose of sharing and doing stroke talks, because let me put this up here real quick so you guys can have it. Make sure that you follow me over there at Stroke Talks. That is where I will be doing most of my stroke awareness work at stroketalks.com, Stroke Talks with Sybil on social media. And also with Stroke Talks, I host monthly virtual talks via Zoom. It's myself and other stroke survivors and family and friends who want to learn and hear about stroke. Caregivers, you know, and I'll talk about this one day, another day. You know, my kids at that time were 14, 16, or actually no, they're 14, 16, 18 now. They're 16, 14, and 12 when I had my stroke. And my kids were helping to take care of me. And that's humbling. That is truly, truly humbling. But now they just pick with me. Now they just crack jokes. And we crack jokes and we keep it moving, but that's all right. That's all right. That's right. All right. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble. Have a fabulous, fabulous Friday and a fabulous, marvelous weekend. And we will be back next Friday with a guest or with myself, whichever. And if you would like to come on and be a guest for Fabulous Friday, you can send me an email. Oh, got hair in my mouth. Send me an email at Sybil, Sybil, at millspouseconversations.com, and we will get you scheduled. But FYI, I'm about to PCS to Bahrain. But I'm going to continue doing these even throughout my PCS. Why? Because I'm fabulous like that. All right. Have a good one. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye, bye. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. And you never know when your life can change at the blink of an eye, because this picture, again, just a couple of hours before my life flashed before the party goers, literally just a couple of hours before. So if you didn't get anything else from me today, as I rambled about when seconds matter, be fast. That is what you are looking for. Balance someone's eyes, blurred vision if they can't see, facial droop, arms, can they lift their arms, speech, that slurred speech, and that T is the most important. Time. Call 911 immediately. All right, have a good evening. Not a good evening. It's still morning time. See, look, my 40 minutes talk, my 40, that. Okay, see, let me go. All right. Bye.